Government corruption has never been more prevalent or caused more harm. It's why extremism is on the rise. It's why the financial gap between the haves and have-nots has never been wider. And it's why our planet is at risk of an extinction level tragedy. That's why I need your help to keep exposing the truth about the rot on both sides of the aisle. Become a supporter or a friend of the show today by clicking on the coffee link in the description box below. Friends of the show join me on a Zoom hangout once a month, and you guys can ask me any questions you want, and I can get to know you better. But the most important reason to help is to keep the show alive. Together, we can and will save our country and our planet. Thanks in advance and enjoy the show. Hey everyone, welcome to Plants and Politics. I have an update to share about one of Trump's Capitol insurrectionists. It's time for an episode of Where Are They Now?
Matthew Bledsoe was arrested.
Patrick Montgomery was in court.
Jonathan Manapa will stay in federal custody.
No, I don't take responsibility at all.
So 51-year-old California resident Philip Weisbecker is someone you guys might remember. Weisbecker was seen in photos and videos inside the Capitol on January 6th. He was caught on video exiting Nancy Pelosi's office. But Weisbecker's words are probably what makes him most memorable. On January 6th, he shared a video on Facebook. He took this video inside the Capitol and he captioned it, quote, "If you are placing a face mask on your children, you are killing them softly. And that is a scientific fact, my friends." Then on January 18th, Weisbecker posted again on Facebook, and he shared a screenshot of a news segment in which he was clearly seen. He was inside the Capitol. Above that image, he wrote, quote, "If you would like to know the truth, just ask." So Weisbecker posted again. This was on January 25th. This time he stated, quote, "When we were kids, we questioned what was on TV. Why do most folks blindly follow it now? I was in DC as a citizen journalist on 1/6. For the record, unlike a couple of other January 6 defendants who appear to be legitimate citizen journalists, there's no evidence showing that Weisbecker entered the Capitol or was in the Capitol for journalistic purposes. In fact, he makes his living as a freelance construction estimator. So he continued to deflect and he continued to lean on these conspiracy theories to excuse away his behavior. On February 2nd, he responded to a Facebook comment and he wrote, quote, "Antifa, BLM, and the Capitol Police worked together to allow me to enter the building. I am still here, but all the Antifa, BLM, false flag agitators are facing criminal charges from the FBI. No, guy, only your fellow MAGA buddies have been arrested and thrown into the pokey." Anyway, he continued with his BS. He replied to another Facebook comment on February 3rd, and he said, quote, "I spoke with dozens of Americans in DC. None were racist. None. You will be hard-pressed to find any evidence of racism anywhere. Find some facts, please. And by the way, who has a low IQ? Apparently that would be you, Weisbecker. You fell for Donald Trumper Tantrum's lies, and you apparently don't even realize that a Confederate flag is a sign of hate and racism. And yeah, there were plenty of people there that day saying all kinds of racist crap to Black officers. So anyway, Weisbecker needs to take his own advice. He needs to find some facts, but he continued with these alternative facts. On February 7th, he was crossing the U.S.-Mexico border. He was coming back into the U.S. from Mexico, and apparently they stopped him and questioned him. He admitted to entering the Capitol and also Pelosi's office, but he repeated this whole citizen journalist BS, and he claimed that he witnessed DC police moving barricades, he said, to provide everyone access to the Capitol. So apparently Border Patrol let him through, but then he was crossing the border again on February 10th. And so he was questioned again. They stopped him. They questioned him a second time. This time, the Border Patrol agents reported that he was, quote, verbally abusive and uncooperative with CBP officers. The officers wrote that he cursed at them, and then he asked them if they were, quote, communists or gay. And he called the officer in charge, quote, stupid, a cocksucker, and a communist pig. How to win friends and influence people. So Weisbecker also reportedly said that Donald Trump was still the president. And he said that he felt more free in Mexico than in the US because you just can't be a conservative in the US. I mean, by all means, go, be free, Weisbecker. No one's stopping you. In fact, we'll help you pack. So anyway, you might think this is the end of the road for him. They took him in, but no, you'd be wrong, because evidently white privilege also exists at the Mexico border. He was not arrested that day. He was back at the border again on March 3rd, and he complained about being interviewed again. He called the officer in charge a fascist and communist. And he also said that he was being harassed because he went to DC on the 6th, which he referred to as a peaceful protest. However, Weisbecker said that any damage that was done, Antifa definitely did it, and it was a false flag operation. So it was totally peaceful, but if there was anything that was bad, it was Antifa. And then he claimed that no one died at the Capitol. But then he said that, one officer did die, but he was killed by his own tear gas. And then he said that the Border Patrol officers didn't even know for a fact that an officer actually died. Then Weisbecker also told them that Ashley Babbitt is not real. He said he knows that she's not real. He knows she doesn't exist because she was supposedly from his same city, and he knows everyone in that area. But then he claimed that Babbitt wasn't her real name. So she's not real, she doesn't exist, but Babbitt isn't her name. So, I mean, that is just a double-decker crazy sandwich right there. So anyway, Weisbecker was finally arrested on October 21st of last year. And he was charged with those same 4 misdemeanors: entering a restricted building or grounds, 2 counts of disorderly conduct, and parading in a Capitol. Weisbecker pleaded guilty to the parading charge in March of this year, and he was facing up to 6 months in jail, 5 years of probation, and $5,000 in fines. But the prosecutor only requested 90 days in jail, the 3 years of probation, and 60 hours of community service. So Weisbecker feigned regret in court, but U.S. District Judge Thomas Hogan completely wasn't buying it. At the sentencing hearing, he told Weisbecker, quote, "I think you're upset or hurt because your status as a citizen is now under strict oversight by the government. You have been hurt by that. You've lost friends, family, and maybe some work because of this display. And that, I take that into account, the punishment you've incurred because of your actions. At the same time, your remorse is somewhat, to me, diminished because of the videos you played." Judge Hogan also called him out on his citizen journalist lie, saying, quote, "You claim to be a citizen journalist. Your real occupation is construction." And so Hogan sentenced Weisbecker to 30 days in jail. He said he could serve that intermittently, though, on the weekends. He also gave him 24 months of probation. And then Weisbecker was ordered to pay a $2,000 fine and $500 in restitution. So enough, not even close, and I really would have liked to see some mandatory mental health treatment because, I mean, I'm no psychiatrist, but it doesn't take a PhD in psychology to see that this guy appears to have a few screws loose. I mean, so I have no doubt we're going to be seeing this guy again. We're going to be hearing about him again. This was a weak sentence. At least he'll be on probation during the next presidential election. But, whoo, boy, yeah, this judge just sent him back here to California. Thanks so much, Judge. Yeah, appreciate that. Anyway, guys, I will let you know when I hear more. Take care. Thanks so much for watching and listening. I'll talk with you soon.